it's me, Hyper Savage, and today we're doing the third project of the Grabie Advent Calendar, which is Doodle Up the Season, which is days 8 through 12, so let me go grab those. Here we are. First day is the sketchbook we're going to be working in here. We have some fine liners, not one, but 2 days of markers. And last, we have some glitter gel pens that are a normal cartridge thickness. So I'm going to read off what the project card says here. Project 3, Doodle Up the Season. From day 8 to day 12, this project offers vibrant alcohol markers and waterproof fine liner pens for capturing holiday memories. You'll receive a high-quality mini marker pad that won't bleed. Make it the perfect surface for your drawings. Sparkling glitter pens will add the finishing touch to your creations. Unleash your creativity and craft holiday masterpieces. Day 8, mini marker pad in green. Day 9, waterproof fine liner drawing pen size 3 and 5. Day 10, dual tip alcohol based marker set of 3. Day 11, same thing. Day 12, capped glitter gel ink pen set of 4. So I'm going to scan in the QR code and see if they give us kind of a direction to go here, because they didn't give us like any prompts or anything for this, as far as I know. Well, that was a waste of time. So let me tell you what the QR code says. It says scan the QR code to watch the tutorial. I would say this one was more on the side of tutorials, but not quite there yet, where it shows them drawing with a fine liner and wiping it like with some water to prove that they're waterproof, and saying to use the thicker lines for the outer edges and the thinner liner for the details. Oh, Jesus. And also boasts about how the paper is bleed proof. So no blending techniques. I would say this was close to being a tutorial. It was another 40-second video. There's not much you can do in that amount of time, but still a little disappointed in the QR code. So before I start to figure out what I'm going to draw here, let's test out the paper for real and see what it can handle. It can't handle being open so far. Okay, so I'll test out the fine liners first. This is really hard to hold down. So I would say that these are about standard size. However, I don't think they're pure black. Let me get a micron to show you what I mean. As you can see on the left, it's a bit more warm and a little bit lighter than the one on the right, which is the micron. So I'm not that impressed with these right now, but you know, them being smudge proof would be nice, because right now the only reliable smudge proof fine liner I have are microns. Okay, I'm gonna test out these pens now. Now last time my gold didn't work, and it looks like this time this gold doesn't want to work very well either. What's with the gold? These are gel pens, so don't expect any kind of magical thing to happen here. Not like jelly rolls or insert other good gel pen here. I'm gonna call this pink. It could be red, but I think it's pink. So here they are. I had a hard time to get my gold to work at first. That happened last time with the gel pens. My gold didn't want to work at first. These gel pens are different than the other ones. It may not look like it. Other than their cartridge being smaller, they do have a different type of nib. It felt a lot more ballpointy, I guess, and it did some railroading where like the center was kind of blank, but the edges had color, if you know what I mean. Let's turn to another page here, and we see ghosting, but we don't see bleeding. So I think that's a little concerning that this lightweight stuff is ghosting. It's not bleeding. There is a difference between ghosting and bleeding. Ghosting is you could see it through, or bleeding is it bled through. How do I describe bleed through without using the word bleed? Well, anyways, hopefully you understand what I mean. So for colors, we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and gray. Unfortunately, we don't have purple. We have gray. We could have had the whole rainbow here, and you know, this green is actually like a wasabi green. Do they have color names? It doesn't look like it, but let's go ahead and swatch them on this paper. But first, it must be in rainbow order to appease the rainbow gods. Okay, since it says it doesn't bleed through, I'm gonna go ahead and draw on the back of this paper here, just to see if it's true. We'll see. Ready? Wipe. And then color. Don't you worry, we're gonna do blend tests. We're gonna do all that good stuff everybody's here for, right? Oh man, can I fit the last two on here? Oh, it's gonna bother me if I can't. Oh man, that gray is gonna be tight. Screw it, we'll do gray the other direction. We're not gonna flip back yet. We'll save that. Okay, we're gonna do the blend test now. I think that red and orange will blend nicely together. The real test is yellow to green, because I can never get that to blend together. I think it happened maybe once on the channel and then never again. Well, let's do a big old swatchy swatch. I already, like, smudged the barrel here. I do think it's kind of on top of the paper, as you can see from the shine here. I don't think it's going into the paper, which affects how it blends together. I don't have high hopes for blending. We're gonna go ahead. If the red and orange don't blend, then forget it with the yellow and green, but we'll try. I don't think it's happening, guys. Okay, let me do it a little bit in a more circular motion. Maybe the issue is the way I'm doing it. Maybe I'm the problem. Wow, that's amazing how it's not blending. That is muddy. Look at that. That is disgusting. So the markers do have that bubbling effect that Copic markers kind of have sometimes on certain papers. I don't know if it's all papers. I just know with some papers, okay? Where it's like a grainy texture. And I know my Ohuhus don't do that so much, so I don't know what it is about this formula that's doing that. It's not a big deal. It's like, it's very not that big a deal, okay? But I just thought I'd point it out. The yellow into green got muddy. The red and the orange almost blended, but not quite. If you're expecting to blend with these markers, you might need more colors and different paper. I don't really know the answer here, but let's see how this did. Okay, no bleed through, but ghosting. You can see the ghosting. Wow, no bleed through, but ghosting. So I don't have high hopes for using both sides of the paper here because of the amount of ghosting I am seeing. But it is nice that I don't have to worry about putting like a scrap piece of paper or that thingy, what are they called? Blotter sheets, that like rubbery thing that I think Ohuhu packages with their markers. Do they have an official name? I don't know. Oh, we should test out the fine liners now to make sure it doesn't actually smudge. So we're gonna just like do some doodly woodlies here. See if anything happens. We'll use the blue since we didn't use blue yet. I'll give it a couple seconds to dry because realistically that's what I would do normally. I'm gonna make another scribble here because I want to see an eraser test. Because some liners lighten once you go in and erase the pencil lines. It's been a couple of seconds, so let me just make sure. Well, I don't see any smudging. Let's do yellow because I think that might be the easiest one to see the smudging on. Hard to tell because yellow is so ugly. It's not a good shade of yellow. Like mustardy, like dirty mustard. I'm gonna say it's not doing anything. I think my nib was dirty from the blending. Well, there's that. Let me grab my eraser. I'm gonna do a regular eraser. Okay, let me just scribble it off on this page so you guys know it's not making any marks, okay? And let's see how it does. That's what I was afraid of. Oh, calm down. Jesus. So, if you couldn't tell, it did lighten up there. I erased on the upper half here. That's unfortunate because the microns don't do that as bad. I know my lay pens do that and my zebra pens do that. That is kind of unfortunate. It is hard to find a good like fine liner that won't erase and is bleed proof. Micron has been like the only one that I've been able to find so far that does everything I need, but have a good brush nib in my opinion. I want to see if I can create purple somehow, some way by mixing the colors because we saw they weren't blending, but can they mix? We'll do good old circles of primers. Do I have them in the right spots? I don't think it matters. I just want to know. I did do yellow last though because I know it's gonna be a butthole like that. Ew, ugh, this yellow is awful. It did actually make it green. So it looks like they can be mixed, but they're going to be very dark. So they're not ideal for that either. All right, so with everything we learned here, we should start making some art, right? I wish this book would just stay open. Do I need a pencil for such a tiny sketchbook? I'm going to draw one of my favorite thingies here. That's right, mushrooms. Let me do the process I normally do. I usually go in with a smaller liner, do my thing, erase the lines. Just too many things around my hands. Like that. Get my little crummy eraser here. I'm not pressing too hard, but I do see the ink is lifting a little bit, but that's not a problem for how I do my art. Let's color it in. I'm gonna start with orange actually. I am gonna note here that I don't see a whole lot of feathering. There is a tiny bit, so that's just something to keep in mind when you're drawing your lines. You're probably gonna want thicker lines or figure out the best threshold to like color near your line so it doesn't bleed out. I'm gonna try a little bit harder to get this to blend. I don't know why. I'm thinking I can make it work, but I don't know. I just want to give it a good try, okay? I want to see for real if it'll work. I did grab yellow, and that was on purpose. So the yellow gets so dirty. You saw that? That was crazy. Now that the drawing's ruined, let's go ahead and do my final lines here. I'm kidding. It's just a 2-inch drawing. It's not a big deal if it's ruined or not. We're really just testing out all the supplies here. Nothing too serious. Now, I'm somebody who uses like a brush pen, like a tiny little baby brush pen, like the Light Pen Flex series is what I prefer to get my varying line thickness. So you'll have to forgive my lack of trying for the line art here. But I think we can make the little dot thingies this silver color if it'll work over this. Ooh, yeah. I do wish it was white though. I wish they had included a white. And maybe they don't have like a good white formula just yet. Cute, cute. Other than that harsh shadow. All right, let's draw something else. Oh my god. Little egg doodle, doodly woodly. Making a lot of things that have white in them, I've noticed. Make the yolk big, okay? So the yolk went a little runny. Just a little runny. Let it dry. Now we erase. Why am I using this yellow? That sucks. I don't know. Honestly, it's really not that bad of a yellow. It's just, I don't like yellow and I keep using yellow. It's crazy. Alright, let's add a little bit of shading. So when it's wet, it does seem to feather out if you put marker on top, which is fine. It's what I was expecting to happen. But we do have a lot more bleed out than usual, it seems. Let's use the gray. Maybe we can get some like flakes in here. Normally I would shade an egg with yellow, but we don't have like a lighter yellow. So this is what we get, okay? I'll be mad about my gray egg. Let's add a little bit of green to it. Like we put little flakes on it. What flakes, you might ask? I don't know. I'm salt, pepper, hot sauce kind of person. Oregano, maybe? I don't know. What goes on eggs? Everything, right? Everything. Now let's do the final lines. Here, I'll do this. I'll do a thinner line around the center, okay? Because I know other people do use the thinner liners for smaller details. I use it for my underline work because I have 2 sets of lines I do. And we have some gold. What are we doing with it? Shines, I guess. Ish. But yep, there's my eggie. What's green? We do like a leaf, a tree, probably a leaf because I like leaves. Should I do freehand? I think I want to do freehand this time. No sketch, no line art. Look at me drawing a leaf. Just kidding, it's a fern. It's probably not going to look much like a fern when I'm done with all these little leaves though. Ferns are like my favorite foliage right now, especially to draw. I have a couple of fern plants. I still have not mastered how to draw the leaves though. Like I can't get it right for some reason. This is too bold. Like there needs to be more. And I think maybe for this one, I'll just draw like details and not do like a full-on outline. Like maybe we could just do something like this. Oh, I hate it. I didn't even put any glitter on that last one. Okay, blue, 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 blue. What's blue? We do like a little scene. Fine, I'll go over it again. Okay, ready? Okay, are you satisfied? All right, so we're gonna pretend like there's a snow on the ground. Maybe have like a little bit of texture. And we're gonna add in some stars. Oh, we should do it in blue. I don't know why, other than we haven't used it yet. Well, they're gonna be subtle. Oh my god, look at them. It's fine. They look fine on the upper camera, but I cannot see them from the angle I'm sitting at. We're gonna put a little moon. Gonna color it in. Oh my god, why did I decide to do this? I knew from last time that I didn't like coloring in full objects with the gel pens. Yeah, here we are. I'm adding in some stars with the silver too, because the blue is not that great on blue. Actually, I'm just gonna go back over the stars I did draw with the blue and be happy about it. I'm really just stalling to see if I could put another layer on this silver here. I probably can't, knowing how gel pens work. And in the snow, I'll add the blue back in because, you know, we got rid of it. We should put it back. All right, can I add here? This is what it looks like. Can you see the streaks? in the moon here. That's why I'm trying to add another layer, but I don't think it's really going to happen. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to scrape itself back away. But here is our blue piece done. Now for this one, I know what I'm drawing. Can you tell what it is yet? Oh no, I made it smooth on one side and I made it like hook on this side. Ruined! Ruined! All right, let's erase. There is some blue on the edges here from when I colored in the background. It's not bleed through. It just, I did that thing where I went between the pages when I was coloring. Okay, not a big deal. Right. Normally I would draw a cheese paw here, but I figured this would be a better use of our gray. I'm gonna see how the blue looks over top of this. If it doesn't look good, then we'll just go over it. I wanted to like have stripes. I want rounded stripes. Well, it doesn't look any different than blue. The gray didn't really affect it that much color-wise. I'm gonna color another layer of gray over top of everything though. So maybe it will affect it somewhat. We'll see. I'm smudging it around, that's for sure. So we're gonna have a blue tabby. Dry! Doesn't go how I was hoping it would, but it's okay. I'm gonna use this pink color. Hopefully it'll go over this gray. We'll see. I'm hoping for something crazier like how the silver went over that dark color, but looks good in top view. Ugh, why did I decide to color a big area with a gel pen? I keep making the same mistakes over and over. Okay, I'm gonna do my final lines. I'm not sure if I want to go over those stripes or not. I think I do want to give an outline to the beans in the palm pad or whatever that one's called. And let's go around the stripes too. Why not? All right, that is that one all done. All right, so we did draw something in each color. So let's just do a little flip through of that real quick. All right, because I'm curious about how these markers are going to work on other paper, I think I'm going to grab out my Mixed Media Canson here and see how it does. I wouldn't say that this is perfect for markers or anything, but this is what I've used in the past for some alcohol markers. I just want to see how they fare when it comes to blending. Okay, well, that answers that. That blends pretty well on not that fancy marker pad. It will bleed through the paper, I'm sure of it. Yep, it did. That's okay. Don't worry about this drawing. It was thrown away. I think that these are probably just as good as Ohuhu markers. They do leave that bubbly graininess to them though, like Copics do. And as for these fine liners, I think they could be better. They're not as like dark as I wish they were, and the pigment kind of picks up when you erase. But again, how I do my drawing process, it's okay that the marker erases a little bit here because I do a second set of lines when I'm done, but not everybody does that. So for the glitter pens, I feel like they work like other glitter gel pens where they are going to clog and they railroad a little bit. However, the silver works differently. I don't know why the silver is more of a metallic pen and less of a glitter pen where it just comes out way better and is like a constant shine and not just sparkly in some areas, if that makes sense. I like the silver over these three, and also we kind of already got a gold and blue earlier in glitter pens on day 6 to be exact. Now it is a different shade of blue, so that's okay that we got another one, but the gold is like the same gold and they both didn't work. Weird, right? I also want to say that I wish there was a purple and or pink to go along with this, maybe even a black. Like maybe we could have had another day of markers and not gotten these glitter gel pens because we already got them in a previous day. Why do we need more of them? And especially like 2 of them are kind of in the same color family as the last set we got, right? I don't necessarily hate the glitter pens, don't get me wrong, it's just I don't like that we're getting so many of them for art stuff. I like if we were doing more writing and bullet journaling stuff, which we do have a project for later on, I might have liked them better. Now let's talk about this tiny baby sketchbook, okay? I love that it's a tiny baby sketchbook. I love that stuff doesn't bleed through. However, the markers don't blend on this paper, and we kind of prove that they do blend on the Canson paper. So, and the yellow just like ew. It's because of whatever this formula is that they make it so it doesn't bleed through, it does not sink into the paper at all, so it won't blend together. The most we get is mixing colors, and they don't mix to good colors. But I still think the markers are usable, and I think the sketchbook is actually pretty usable too. I probably will not be using it for like alcohol marker creations. Even though I said all the kind of like sort of negative things about the supplies here, I don't actually think any of these are bad supplies. I think that there are better supplies out there, which is what I'm comparing them to that I own. But I think if you don't own anything like this stuff is good. Okay. Does that make sense? But despite me saying those things, I still am going to rate this pretty high. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 chi loaves. Just because I did have fun with this. I do like that it wasn't like hardcore holiday themed, because, you know, they didn't give us prompts so I could draw whatever I wanted. However, I do wish they had given us a little bit of a direction to go with the sketchbook, so it wasn't just like, here's some stuff, draw. But again, I did have fun, so that's why I gave it that rating. But that is going to be it for me today. If you guys want to check out the last project, you could tap the thumbnail here. If you want to catch up on anything you missed, you could tap the thumbnail here. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all the cool YouTube things of commenting, liking, subscribing, and turning on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!